All right, let's get right into it. Welcome to this explainer, where we're going to unpack Ethan Mollick's absolutely fascinating book, Co-Intelligence. Look, if you've ever stared at a blinking cursor, completely frustrated with those bland, generic responses you get from chatbots, trust me, you are not alone. But today, we're going to completely transform those frustrations into a highly structured playbook. By the time we wrap up, you're going to walk away with the exact mental frameworks and daily habits to make you vastly better at using AI than 99% of your peers.
We're following a super clear roadmap today. First, we'll meet the alien mind to figure out what's actually happening under the hood. Then, we'll hire your new AI sous chef, lock down the essential rules of engagement, and learn how to push the AI to absolute extreme lengths. And finally, we'll build out your ultimate daily mastery playbook, the 5 and 50 habit.
So let's start right at the beginning and meet this alien mind. To really use it well, we need to understand exactly how modern AI actually came to be.
The real turning point? It happened back in 2017. Before that, let's be honest, AI was kind of rigid. It rarely wowed anyone. But everything shifted into high gear when Google dropped a completely groundbreaking paper called Attention is All You Need. That single paper sparked the entire development of large language models, or LLMs, which, as you know, is the core technology powering modern juggernauts like ChatGPT and Claude today.
So how do these models actually learn? Well, LLMs train by devouring literally billions of sentences. They pay close attention to specific words and phrases to predict what comes next, making billions of unsupervised predictions. You can kind of think of this training process like a robot trying to navigate a wildly dense jungle. It tries to get through by just randomly wandering off the beaten path, exploring all sorts of different routes. Sure, some of those routes hit dead ends, but others reveal these surprisingly scenic shortcuts. And after millions and millions of attempts, this alien mind creates a highly detailed map of countless intellectual territories.
But here's the kicker, and it's a pretty big one. This incredible speed and mapping capability comes with a quirky catch. Because LLMs don't actually store the raw data they trained on, they aren't looking up and verifying facts like a database. Instead, they're just predicting what sounds right. And this leads to what we call hallucinations, which is exactly what's happening when the AI just confidently invents details that absolutely aren't true.
It's exactly like dealing with a navigator who lost all their reference photos and has to rely purely on memory. If you ask them about a specific landmark, they're going to give you this incredibly vivid, totally plausible description. It gives you a fantastic sense of direction, for sure, but the exact historical details or dimensions, they might be completely off. The big takeaway here is that you really shouldn't let hallucinations deter you. You just have to treat the AI as a directional guide to help you get unstuck rather than an encyclopedia.
Knowing all that, how do we shift our mindset to actually work with this technology? Well, it's time to hire your new AI sous chef.
Mollick suggests a total perspective shift here. Treat AI like you are a head chef, and you've just hired this absolute prodigy of a sous chef. This sous chef has watched millions of meals being prepared. They literally possess the most incredible resume in human history. You'd be crazy not to use them to improve your menu. But, and this is a massive but, you have to remember their one fundamental weakness. They cannot actually taste the food. They might flawlessly chop the vegetables, but they will randomly throw way too much salt or spice into a dish. If you just blindly send that dish out to a customer without tasting it yourself, you are going to get a terrible review.
Okay, keeping that kitchen analogy firmly in mind, let's talk about the essential rules of engagement for managing this alien mind day to day.
Rule number 1 is simple but crucial. Always invite AI to the table. Pick your major model, ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, Grok, whatever you prefer, and throw it at your critical tasks. Ethan Mollick actually leaves his AI's voice mode on to talk through his entire thought process out loud. If you're stuck on a big decision, don't just demand an answer. Instead, open a chat window and say, "Hey, guide me by asking clarifying questions to uncover my priorities, and then help me weigh the trade-offs." And here's a vital tip to remember. Even if the AI seems totally useless for a specific task today, this is literally the worst model you will ever work with. The tech is moving that fast. So try that exact same task again in 6 months and see what happens. Rule number 2 brings us right back to our chef analogy. Always, always stay in the loop. You have to be the one tasting the dish, never just blindly copy and paste AI outputs. To fix that too much salt problem, simply ask your AI to list all the verifiable facts in the output it just generated. Then take that list and cross-check it with another model. But remember, for absolutely anything that could cause reputation damage, like a study citation in a professional paper, you have to step in. You have to personally Google and verify those facts with credible real-world sources.
All right, if you really want to break away from the pack and move past those boring, generic outputs, we have to talk about pushing AI to extreme lengths.
50. That right there is the magic number. Rule 3 requires you to ruthlessly push the AI to lengths you would never dare ask of a human being. Think about it. Your AI doesn't get tired. It doesn't get resentful or roll its eyes. So instead of asking a human assistant for 3 subject line options, demand 50 variations from your AI. Now, when you do this, 48 of those options are going to be incredibly generic or honestly, just super weird. But two of them will combine elements you literally never would have thought of on your own, and they will be absolutely brilliant.
But look, to actually get those 2 brilliant outputs, sheer volume just isn't quite enough. You have to combine that volume with incredibly strict instructions. You need to provide the 3 C's: character, context, and constraints. Don't just ask for a recipe. Give it a character. Act like an Italian Michelin star chef. Give it context. You're cooking for a family who absolutely loves bold flavors. And give it extreme constraints. Use no more than 5 ingredients. When you lock this alien mind inside incredibly tight creative constraints, you are going to consistently yield far sharper, way more interesting responses. Now, this all culminates in an incredibly powerful daily playbook for mastery. Mollick calls this the 5 and 50 habit. For literally any complex task, problem, or big decision, here is the exact play you need to run. Step 1, just get it on paper. Write a rough, messy first prompt to explain your situation. Step 2, improve that prompt 5 times. Actively converse with the AI to refine its character role, deepen the context, and tighten up those creative constraints. Then, step 3, once that prompt is totally dialed in, relentlessly push for 50 variations on the absolute most critical part of the output, whether that's a key analogy, a headline, or a strategic solution. If you build this 5 and 50 habit into your daily routine, you'll add a layer of intelligence to your work that elevates you beyond pretty much everyone else in your field.
And honestly, this brings us to the most empowering takeaway from Mollick's entire book. So many people are terrified that AI is just going to replace human ingenuity entirely. But the truth is beautifully summarized right here. By learning to use AI better, you won't eliminate your creativity, you'll amplify it. You are still a head chef, you are still designing the menu. The AI is simply your tireless, brilliant sous chef, handing you the perfect ingredients to build something spectacular.
So what you really should take away from all this is that mastering AI is just a matter of practice and perspective. Look at your schedule right now. Think about the projects sitting on your desk. What is the single most complex task or the most critical decision that you are going to invite your new sous chef to help you solve today?